Nuclear.
Hello and welcome to another installment of the Zionsville Football Fantasy Football League Fantasy Football Podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper, the only fantasy football ad made for fans by fans. This is the show where we take a look into the details and goings on in the league because we all know our commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host as usual, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ, how are 2-0 doing? I mean, how are you doing?
God, Ted, amped to get another episode rolling, especially after Dancing with the Stars premiere last night. I mean, Robert Irwin, come on. Wow. Don't want to get too much into that, at least right now, because I know this podcast might be a little long, but 2-0, feels great. Feels great.
Do you smell that?
Oh, God.
Oh, something's a little too stinky.
Oh my gosh, guys. It's been too long.
It has been too long.
Week 3 needed to get the Bink, turn the pot around, turn Binky's season around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I am 0-2 thanks to the two guys looking at me right now. So thank you guys for stress-induced anxiety over the past 2 weeks of my life. The two co-hosts have been back-to-back Eiffel Towering my team. Ridiculous. Where's the decorum?
Ooh. Maybe your fortune will change. Maybe you just need to get some Juju Smith-Schuster going. RJ, what are you drinking there?
Just a little baby bottle.
It's a little baby bank.
Mm-hmm. Need to get fed from the bank.
Straight from the Bink's heat. Well, Binky, you brought it up. Why don't we just get right into the week 2 recap? We'll just go right into it. Some might say that I didn't beat you. Maybe you beat yourself. You only put up 88 points to my 163. Josh Allen, I bet you're probably blow up on him. But TJ Hawkinson, Cortland Sutton, AJ Brown, those 4 players combined for carry the 2 less than 20 points, whereas James Cook himself outscored them all. And so did Brandon Aubrey with 20. My early season MVP, and then don't forget about Amon-Ra with 34. RJ, while Bink collects himself from just remembering the ass whooping I gave him, why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts?
Yeah, when Josh plays like that with that amount of points from where you drafted him, you really can't expect to win, right? Bijan and Bucky looked fine. T. Higgins, season long now, I'm a little scared because from what we saw from Jake Browning, he was 1 for 5 throwing to T. Higgins. Granted, that one was the touchdown he scored. But, a lot of misses from Jake Browning. So T. Higgins, something to look out for going forward. Would love to see a Jameis Winston trade to Cincinnati maybe. That deep ball to T that Jameis could throw. A lot of interceptions, but a lot of touchdowns I could see. Anyways, Hawkinson, absolute mess. Don't even know if Cortland Sutton is usable anymore. It seems like Bo loves his Oregon product, Troy Franklin. AJ Brown, miserable. I mean, just god-awful. Sorry, Bink. There's just not much good to talk about on your team. And
you know what? RJ, I'm not even personally offended. I am just trying to rack my head around how my team can go from preseason poll most desirable team, the envy of the league, to basically
2 weeks
we got
in.
nothing, we got absolutely nothing. And it comes so fast. The complete 180. I mean, I went from feeling super bullish to completely bearish. But we're still making moves to try to turn this ship around. Yeah. I don't think it's too late, but getting brutalized as an 0-2 it's not where you want to be. I'm in Kevin territory back-to-back years. It honestly feels like I am on repeat of last year. I mean, this exact same setup, except I think Ted was 2-0 at this point as well. But we were all in these exact same spots. And I don't know, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but running through the performances here, Josh Allen, 11.82 points after an absolute miracle performance last week. To put up a dud in a week in which I needed him so much hurts. Bijan Poppinson has actually been a consistent staple for me so far this year. But honestly, like, he's not having these high ceiling games. He does have a super high floor, and I feel like he's, doing what he needs to do as a member of my team. Bucky came through with 15, but AJ Brown, what the fuck? I mean, I am benching him until otherwise. He will not touch the fucking starting lineup. I just remember watching that game, completely mesmerized, scratching my head like, where the fuck is AJ Brown? He's considered a top 5. I mean, I think over at least the top, at least he's a top 8 over the past, couple years. He's a consistent guy. He usually has these really high ceiling games. He'll have a dud every now and then, but he just looks like a non-factor of the fucking offense. I mean, not even trying. They're not even trying to pass, really. They're riding the coattails of Saquon Barkley. We were discussing preseason at the draft party. Can they continue to run like they did last year? What was it, 500 plus touches for Saquon Barkley? Can he do that back-to-back years? The answer is they plan to, Unless he fucking rips a leg off, they're just going to run it down teams' throats until someone says they can stop the man. And I fucking hate to see that. T. Higgins. I mean, honestly, I don't know. It sounded like you guys watched the game. Horribly depressing. But they, and other than that touchdown where the two guys just ran into each other, T. Higgins was a complete non-factor in the whole game. That was a really awesome touchdown, but it's just really unfortunate what we're seeing from him, and he's probably not going to see the lineup moving forward unless he becomes like a favorite of the new quarterback, whoever that is named to be. And Hawkinson is completely dead to me. Cortland Sutton let me down. Everyone was letting me down left and right. Don't want to be too long-winded here, but the highlights of my team were the Rams defense and Tyler Loop. I mean, Teddy just continues to serve that D. This is just riding the coattails of last year. Undeniable D, week in and week out. And I thought he couldn't do it again this year, but suffocating my team to only put up 88 points, Ted's got a hell of a D.
Yeah, it was astounding. And there were big Ds across the whole league. There was some heavy defense shutting everyone down. What was it? There were 3 teams above 120 and 4 teams above 120, and the other 4 were below 92, which is insane. I think across the board, if I'd like to make a suggestion to the stat man, I feel like this is the highest point differential across the board we've ever seen.
Has to be.
It was thrashing after thrashing.
And especially because usually you'll have at least one matchup where both guys go nuclear and you have like a 144 lose or something. But every person, it was high versus low.
So, Monty, don't worry. You're not alone. And let me tell you who you're not alone with. Kevin, he got beat. He's 0-2. Trevor beat him 132-88. Trevor had huge performances from what I'm thinking is the new 3-headed monster, Lamar, CMC, and Puka. His team is looking good. Kevin's team sucked ass. I don't know why he started Evan Ingram, who was hurt and didn't do anything last week. Broncos D was 0. Chase Brown, 7.5. Might be time for Kev to start panicking. RJ, what do you think about both of them?
Yeah, I'll probably say this every week, but I've just had the wrong year of drafting CMC and Puka 1 and 2, obviously. And then I also made this joke last week, but Trev really had Kevin Collins that suicide hotline because just an absolute beatdown again for Kevin. The 2 points combined From kicker and defense for Kevin, what was it? Was like nothing.
0 for the Broncos.
And 2 for Chase McLaughlin.
And 2 for the kicker. Yeah, just horrible. Evan Ingram was outsnapped by Dayton product tight end Adam Troutman. Through 2 games, stat here, Chase Brown is still the only running back with a rushing attempt for the Bengals, but has still only got 7.5 points. Combined with Josh Jacobs. So these are some good things for Kev, I guess. Josh Jacobs was the only running back for the Packers that saw a rushing attempt this week. Now that's about the only good thing from Kevin's team. Trevor's team right now just looks absolutely unstoppable. Easily the top on the breakdown on NFL.com. He has gone 5-2 in both weeks. So not only beatdowns, but consistently up there through 2 weeks. Got to be happy seeing Kenneth Walker do what he did after the questionable week 1 performance. We heard him on the podcast say that he was benching him until he proves that he is still the K-Dub 9 or K9, whatever his nickname is, of old. And well, he got it. Now, I will want to comment for Trevor before he makes that change. I don't know if you saw recently the head coach did say, I think it was either this morning or Tuesday morning, to not expect that type of performance and expect an running back by committee most weeks. We saw two coaches say that this week. Seattle and Rams with Kyron Williams. I was going to mention that later, I believe, with Jack, but I absolutely hate Jack. We'll go into that later. Also, one thing for Trevor should respect this stat because he has Jerry Jeudy. I'm sort of helping him out here. Listen to this. I didn't know this. Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy, they have played 6 games together, okay, since Amari Cooper has left Cleveland. In those 6, guess how many games Jerry Jeudy has outscored Cedric Tillman in fantasy?
All of them.
1. Cedric Tillman has outscored Jerry Jeudy every time except 1 since Amari Cooper has left, at least in PPR formatting. But let me go back to Kevin's team for a second, just after some pickups I liked. Ramondre Stevenson, absolutely loved that pickup. I saw so many guys available this week that I loved, absolutely loved on the waivers, and I've seen a lot of them get picked up already. And I was actually kind of shocked Trevor didn't pick him up. Guys like Diggs and RJ Harvey on Trevor's bench, I think, are non-existent. Like Trevor's bench, I think, needs worked on. Trevor has a great starting lineup, and you can see that by how he's done so far, but the depth, I just don't see it being there. Even Lil Bill, I don't know if you saw this, Bill Krosky Merced, he saw fewer snaps than Jeremy Nichols in week 2 after the Austin Eckler injury. So some work to be done, but overall, Trevor beat down Kevin 0-2. You're right there with the bank.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it all on the head there, RJ. I mean, honestly, Collins, the suicide hotline, I need that number. So, Kevin, please fucking – me and you both need it, apparently, because it's just been nothing but depressing output from both of our teams. Around 88 points just isn't going to fucking cut it. I have no hill to stand on there. But I think – Jaden Daniels, he's a great quarterback, has been really boom bust this year so far. But when you're stacked up against Lamar Jackson, I mean, good luck. That guy's just been in peak form, and I think he's going to be making another MVP run this season unless he snaps a leg or something. But yeah, just having Lamar, CMC, Puka, I mean, Trey McBride, the beatdown. Puka is looking like a fucking – I don't know. He's looking like the next coming of the Messiah. He looks fantastic this year. A true wide receiver 1, probably might finish wide receiver 1 on the year. Like, it's a pass-heavy offense. He's the clear stud. Yeah, Devontae's there, but he's not going to be stopping the production of Puka. They're using Puka in even more ways than they did in previous years too. If you just look at the is McVay the offensive coordinator too or no?
I think he calls the plays. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just the creativity of McVay and company over there, just finding ways to get Puka the ball has to be super encouraging. I mean,
well, he started the game off with that 45-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's really insane, the versatility of the guy. Truthfully, on Kevin's team, I really like the pick, Chase Brown. I mean, the running back room is pretty solid. Chase Brown was really good. I mean, the Burrow injury is just going to really hurt that offense. I feel like they can now get away with pressuring the quarterback a little bit more, filling the box. You can just do things on defense to kind of hurt the rushing production now. But it was Chase Brown is running hard and looks good. Josh Jacobs, Kevin got a little bit of flack for picking him as early as he did. But, I mean, the guy's consistent, you know. And to your point about Trevor's team and the depth, I think it was just last year Teddy was saying, you know, you don't really need depth in an 8-man league. You know, you got to have 7 fucking dogs to put in, and as long as they stay healthy, you're fucking good. And truthfully,
I think stay healthy. You need them to stay healthy.
You need them to stay healthy, but we're all praying people stay healthy. Look at the quarterbacks through these first 2 weeks. You know, we're going to have, what is his name? Browning? Is it Jake Browning?
Yeah. Jake Browning.
We're going to have Jake Browning face off against Carson Wentz in the Vikings-Bengals game. This is like it's like what happened last year. Do you guys remember? The quarterbacks got absolutely decimated. It just keeps happening. Joe Burrow might not play another down this season, so
he might
retire.
Yeah, it's kind of like a miracle if you can have a healthy team throughout an entire fantasy football season. Yeah, it's great seeing everyone so active on the waivers and fucking just scrapping for players. I love that about our league. We don't have any fucking waiver wire. We don't have any fab budget. We're not a bunch of gay pussies, the cucks that like e-girls and do e-dates. This is our league. So good job, everyone. I mean, I'm turning this fucking ship around. The Bink's not going down without a bang. And I don't think Kevin will either. I think Kevin's a fighter. He'll battle to probably being 500 this year, but, you know, we'll see.
Whew. And to keep it rolling, speaking of someone who, was getting talked down to, and really, RJ, I think you owe him an apology. Chase beat Jack 134-74. Absolute doo-doo game for Jack. I think that's the lowest score probably this season, maybe of last season too. Chase had JT and Jamar getting almost 60 between themselves. Didn't even matter that ovarian cancer only got 3 points. And honestly, I think Jack should be a little bit worried. Sam Laporta they scored 50 points and he only scored 4. Breece Hall, the Jets are who we thought they were. And then Jalen Hurts with 11. He's not looking like he's going to be putting up a lot of points. And Derrick Henry, you got to be worried if he's going to start load managing. Who knows what. But I guess bright points for Jack is Tyreek and CD look solid, but 74 points is inexcusable. RJ, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I absolutely hate Jack as a person and a manager. I'm so glad that he lost. His team looked god-awful, and I loved every second of it. Now, as for Chase's team, he completely shut me up specifically. I think other people might have felt that way, but me specifically for sure. Like you said, JT looked great. Jamar looked great. Even without Burrow, just the sheer volume that he's still getting. I don't think it will be an issue. I'm more worried about T than Jamar. Jamar's still a little bit down, obviously, with missing Burrow, but he'll still get the volume. Now, I will say, Ovarian and BTJ kind of scare me a little bit. I will want to mention BTJ scaring me not because of the target share within those last 2 games, 24% and 29%, but the fact he's just looked horrible. He looks lazy, dropping balls, not finishing routes. I really just think as Travis Hunter works more into that offense, he'll only get the ball more and more. And I will want to say Dalton Kincaid, even though, what do you have, like 5 points something?
5.7.
5.7. He still did lead the Bills in target share. So I'm not too worried about him either. And I will want to mention on Chase's team, DK is Rodgers' red zone target. He went after him like every single time they reached the red zone. And then just to add more shit about Jack, I already mentioned McVay. Kyron saw a rush share of 95% week 1, and then last week or week 2, 75%. And McVay did mention that he expects that to be more like a 60-40 workload between Kyron and Blake Corum. And Blake looked great, so I could see that happening more. And for the people that don't know, the reason why I absolutely hate Jack is I reached out to him again this past weekend about the payment for the Airbnb because he said he was sending a check, right? It was been a week, and I'm like, Jack, do you have my address? And he's like, oh, we're out of stamps. I'll have Anna just Venmo you. And I was like, why couldn't you have done that to begin with? Why'd you have to wait to do that? And then he said he was going to do a Dancing with the Stars league, but Anna said no, which I thought Jack was a man of himself. I thought he could do it if he wanted.
I'm excited for that league. I joined that league.
I'm glad Jack lost. So that's it. Monty?
Damn. Yeah, I mean, Jack, I do have to say, great pickleball partner. You guys ever have the luxury of playing with him? Great athlete. But with fantasy, good God, if only you could redeem pickleball skills for fantasy football output, because 74 points was that the lowest score this week. It would have to be, right?
Yeah, that's the lowest score since COVID.
The lowest score since COVID. Good God. Mm-hmm. And honestly, looking at the team, it looks like just kind of like an abnormal week, I will say. Like, Jalen Hurts, I don't even know. Philly is so fucking weird to watch right now. Mm-hmm. He put up 11.5 points. They're still winning football games. There's no fantasy value anywhere, really, with that team outside of Saquon. So it's just a really weird thing to watch, and there's just no consistency there, which has to be worrisome. I mean, Derrick Henry, after week 1, absolutely running all over the place, was a complete non-factor in week 2 against Cleveland. I think that's more so of a testament to the Cleveland front, though. I mean, you got Myles Garrett and company. They're up there with Green Bay's defenses. From a run perspective, they're just clogging holes. Green Bay, I think, like literally has a generational defense this year. For a second, I thought after week 1, like going up against Detroit, that, okay, Detroit is just not good this year. Kyle was saying at the draft party, I put a line through every Detroit player for the draft. I was like, holy shit, Kyle might have been onto something. Statman knows something. I think they have a banger offense again. I really do think that Green Bay defense is just really fucking good. And yeah, you just had mediocre output. Tyreek, he's battling domestic disputes, divorce. He's got a lot of things on his mind. He can't really play football right now. CeeDee Lamb, he will show up. Breece Hall, brother, I know week 1 looked good. There will be those flashes. There will be those flashes where you're like, holy shit, Breece Hall can play football. I should put him in my – don't ever put him in your lineup. Never. You will regret it every time you'll put up 74 points.
2 years ago, I had it, passed it to you.
Yeah, passed it to me. It's like having the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
You have no idea you're going to be bedridden and probably die. It's fucking horrible. But looking at Chase's team, Patty's been putting up solid fantasy performances, which has actually been abnormal. He's usually just a good real-life quarterback, finds ways to win games, but sucks in fantasy. He is having adequate fantasy value, so you have to be happy with where you drafted him. I don't know what round he went in, but I know it wasn't early. So good for you. Jonathan Taylor is running like a stallion out there. Love to see it. Go horse. Omari and Hampton, probably right next to Travion Henderson, my pick, is one of the biggest busts this year. He's taken on Najee's role of being – he's more Najee Harris than Najee Harris is. I mean, he was given the world in a run-heavy, run-first offense, a great offensive line, generational prospect, and he puts up 3 points. So, but I mean, Jamar Chase, I don't know how that's going to look moving forward. I think Chase's team is pretty solid. Seems like he's putting in some effort into setting his lineup these days. Greengrass is ahead.
Mm-hmm. Now moving on to our last matchup, RJ, you whooped Kyle 124-92. I think you should be feeling good. Achane seems to be the only bright spot of that Miami offense. Gibbs with 18, Kamara with 13, and wow, Malik Neighbors with 33. He can make catches when he's falling, got a hand in his face. I think you should be feeling good about that. Giants are also slinging him the ball. Kyle, on the other hand, had a rough time. Joe Burrow publicly executed on the field by his offensive line. But you got guys like Maserati with 4, Gene T. Bowers combining for 12. Garrett Wilson, another name that we knew would crash right back down to earth, only had 7. I think there should be not too many alarms, but a good bit of alarm in Kyle's in his pants, in his hot seat, I would say. RJ, what do you think about that matchup you won?
Yeah, like you said, I really started out extremely hot, and Kyle even texted me. He said every single time I open the fantasy app, you just have more and more points. And yeah, I completely agree. Every like week or 1 p.m. game that I had a player, they just were going off. Now I will say me and Kyle discussed this. I'm not a big projections guy anyways, but I do see them when I open the app. The projections have been way off more than usual. I had 3 guys left, and it was like halfway through the 3 o'clocks. I don't know how many points I had. Like I didn't even have 100 though yet, and they were projecting me like 170 points, and I was like, that's literally not possible. Like unless everyone goes for 40, like it just doesn't make sense. But anyways, I digress. Okay performance for me at quarterback. Kyler, from where I drafted him, can't really expect much more. My running backs did what my running backs have normally done in the past, and so far this year they've gone off. And then Neighbors, my first nuclear performance of the year.
Nuclear.
Some incredible catches, touchdowns. I mean, the volume that he gets just makes me smile, and I know Monty's felt that last year. Mm-hmm. Drake London didn't do well, but they barely even threw the ball. I think he still had a target share of 19% or 20%, and he only had 4 targets. So hopefully they start throwing the ball a little bit more. For Kyle, disappointing performance, like you said. You'd hope that Maserati Marv would stick with his quarterback a little bit, but he barely even threw it to him. Garrett Wilson was honestly lucky to even have 7 points. I think he had 2 going into the fourth quarter. And to look ahead for him and Breece Hall, I know Justin Fields is out with a concussion already. They said he's out for next week. He was their only chance of looking good. That's why they looked good in week 1. I think they're just toast. And then Joe Burrow, prayers to that man. I really hope his whatever it is, his pelvic floor is weak or something like that.
I think it's death row.
Death row. He's on. Yeah. Well, hope he gets off of that, but doesn't look good for him. I will say one promising look for Maserati Marv. He did have identical target shares in week 1 and 2. And I guess as I say this, I don't know if it's a positive thing or scary thing, because he had like 18.1 PPR points and then 4.7 this week PPR points. So I guess there's a wide range of what he can hit. So I guess don't be scared that he only scored 4, but you can't expect 18 every week. So there's a wide range for you. Tet and Common, Tet, whatever. The Panthers, he's led the Panthers in targets each of his first 2 games, so that's good for him. And I'll say for Alvin Kamara, for me, he's back up to a 17% target share this week after a 5% target share last week, so that's good. And then this is kind of for me and Trevor. I think Trevor has ETN, but ETN's running back share, you thought it would go up with the trade. Oh, you have ETN.
I have ETN.
Okay, well, this is for you then. You would think that after the Tank Bigsby trade, ETN would be maybe bell cow, 80, 85%. No, his rush shares actually went down to 54%. And his target share went from 10 to 7% because the dude that I picked up, not even going to try to say his name, his rush shares went from 12% to 35% in week 2. What'd you say?
Bayshul Tootin?
Yeah, Bayshul Tootin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put a flyer out on him, hoping that he could maybe take some more rushes from him. And then I just want to point out, I know we mentioned Devontae Puka being the number 1 there. Devontae had a 40% target share in week 2. And I don't know if you watched the game. I know at least for 2 of the red zone trips for the Rams, he was like the only guy Stafford threw to in the end zone.
Stafford loved him. I was watching.
Loved him, especially in the red zone. So Puka can get it down to the red zone and then throw it to Devontae for the touchdowns. I'm completely fine with that. But I like my team. Don't love it, especially at quarterback and maybe tight end still. But I love my bench. I think I have the deepest bench. I know a bench doesn't win championships, but I absolutely love my bench. I think I have tons of depth.
Well, that is it for the week 2 recap. It's been real up and down first.
Wait, I can't comment on that?
Oh, excuse me. There was a little.
Oh my gosh! All right,
RJ was going into so much.
Quick monologue, Ted. I know we're running on a half hour already. Yeah. I mean, these 2 teams, honestly, excluding my own team, because I thought I did draft a good team. I loved these 2 teams. I was like, these are going to be 2 juggernauts this year. I think what is happening right now is, quite frankly, Kyle's kind of feeling injury troubles, obviously. Like the hit that you're taking with Joe Burrow, you could try to plug and play a quarterback. It's just going to be brutal. And then Justin Fields not being able to get the ball to Garrett Wilson, like he was touted as a really high rising wide receiver this year. And I don't know who the backup's going to be there. I don't know how they're going to figure that out the rest of the season, but that's a huge equity hit. Brock Bowers, I think, was injured last week. You know, he's still played, but he's been having knee issues. And Maserati, oh my gosh. It's more like a Volvo or like I don't know. The man cannot just figure it out with Kyler Murray. It's really disheartening to see. He was really a guy that I thought, after having him on my team last year and Malik Neighbors, I had no doubts that Neighbors was going to have, once he had like a better quarterback, he was going to be a boom player, and that's already manifesting itself this year. So great pick for RJ. I think he's going to be really consistent just because he just demands such a massive target share, and he's just an undeniable talent. Maserati put on 20 pounds of muscle and came into the season looking like Rocky. But his problem was never that he needed to be bigger. His problem was that he needed to be better and get more separation. I think he had one of the lowest separation rates per route run last season, and it has not improved. Okay. You have so much name equity being Marvin Harrison's son, and you are the biggest generational disappointment I have ever seen. It's not cut it off completely, but it's definitely sell it, you know, like he's just not delivering. But as to RJ's team, I mean, really consistent play all around. Drake London being an exception, but I mean, quite frankly, it's just a dip week. They did not throw much, as you'd mentioned earlier. And yeah, good to see production out of Devon Achane and Jahmyr Gibbs. The Miami offense is also a really big question mark. I just think they're having like kind of weird like political issues, if you will. We'll see how that like trickles into the locker room and like actual player performance. I think Tyreek had a decent week. The offense, when you looked at it though, didn't look like God. Miami looked like they were like the Rolls Royce of offenses at the beginning of last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were scoring at will. These were powerful, explosive plays. They don't have that anymore, and I don't know what's going on. But we'll see.
And now we are done with the week 2 recap. Binky, sorry for stepping on your toes there. RJ just got into his statistical analysis, and I got really caught off guard. I was like I was in a trance. 3 quick things before we go to commercial. Last week, want to say hats off to Trev. He went 3-1 on his guest picks. Maybe Trevor's over his hump. His mortal lock hit last week. Texas Tech covered the spread. And then Kyle's stat of the week, for anyone interested, Kevin's point differential is now less than a point throughout the whole league's history at 0.36, which is just astounding.
That is incredible.
Maybe we'll have Kevin on sometime, comment on his mediocrity. And then, Monty, you threw out a poll, which maybe we could just have a quick jive sesh. Would you rather have Nico Collins or Mike Evans? And Nico Collins won 4-2 the rest of the year, even though the Buccaneers were looking pretty dang good. RJ, do you agree that Nico Collins is sort of a clearer favorite than Mike Evans going through the rest of the season?
Yeah, I probably would have changed my vote if I knew when it ended. But I did vote Nico Collins the favorite. I probably would have gone to Mike Evans, so it would have been a tie. But yeah, I just like the younger man. That's really what it is. And then when Chris Godwin gets healthy, that'll definitely take some targets away from Mike Evans. Mike Evans is still great, but I probably prefer Nico.
Younger men definitely more impressionable. Monty, what do you think?
Yeah, I just had to toss that out there because, like Kevin was down like 60 points and I think was trying to insinuate or infer that Nico Collins was going to be able to bring him back from the depths. And I do admire the confidence in Nico Collins, but the rest of that game after that touchdown is exactly why I put out the poll. Nico Collins does this thing where he's got a really great frame. He's got, great hands. He'll make like some really aggressive plays, but he doesn't ever sustain it for like just a massive performance, or so rarely does so, that I can't consider him like a true alpha 1 receiver like we can with like a Jamar Chase or like a Justin Jefferson when he has like a really good quarterback play. And Mike Evans has been doing this. But the main thing that I would say is, although Mike is older, he's probably less injury prone. Like, he's had 1,000-yard seasons year after year after year. Nico's whole thing is he can never even get through a whole fucking season. And, he might be decent when he plays, but odds are he probably won't get through this season. So I like Nico Collins as a talent, but I would probably rather have Mike Evans, and I voted accordingly because he's just such a dominant, consistent, huge end zone threat. And he just never gets the notoriety that he deserves. Like that Bucs passing offense is something, when you watch it, it's dynamic. They're not ever considered an elite quote unquote offense in the same conversation with like, I don't know, the Bills or the Ravens or the Chiefs, but they really do put up crazy numbers. Baker be slinging that fucking thing. And a lot of times it's to Mike Evans.
People are starting to murmur about that Bucs offense. And you've got Emeka Egbuka, who's profiting a lot on that. I like him a lot. Well, that is it for the first half of the show. Only 40 minutes in, a quick bit. We're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back Don't worry. I'm sure it'll be a quick. We'll just head right into the week three preview. In, out, probably like 5 minutes. Stay with us. And what's going? Sorry, we got technical issues here. Let me try and get Monty back. Oh.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing. There was Uncle Gentleman.
All right, boys, let's get into it. Bink is back, baby. The Bink is back.
Bink is back. And if I'm not mistaken,
Binky-sama. Binky-sama merch selling this season.
Yeah, I think the loyal viewers are owed some Binky Stinky bets.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Guys, we are back with another episode of Baby Got Bink, where I give you 3 plays of 3 different strengths. And this year, we're starting off riding hard. We're buying the whole neighborhood. We're mortgaging our homes. It's about to be pretty epic. I've got 3 awesome plays for you guys. So starting off with the single bet, Baby Back Bink. On DraftKings only, follow me. We have a popular special on DraftKings called Buffalo Stampede. This is the Thursday night game. We got Buffalo. We got the Miami Dolphins. We're starting off the week with the Thursday game, and it's going to be nothing but good things for Buffalo. So we're going Josh Allen, James Cook to combine for 125 plus rushing yards in the first half. Odds plus 700. This game, I think, is going to be a game in which Buffalo can get away with kind of anything that they want to. Unfortunately, Miami's defense just kind of looks like they're in shambles, and I'm sure the aerial attack will be on. It'll be strong. But these odds that they're giving us for James Cook to pop off, he has literally looked like one of the best running backs. Shout out to Teddy. Jimmy James Cook has been cooking this year. He looks better than his brother Dalvin. And the way that he's just been running all over teams, Josh Allen has been really utilizing his legs a lot this year. And I know that they probably don't average 125 rushing yards in a single half. But I think if they were going to do it on anybody, they could stampede on the Dolphins this week. We're getting plus 700 odds. It's a little sprinkle bank. Definitely follow it. Definitely ride with it. I'm feeling pretty encouraged that we can start off hot. All right.
Sprinkle bink.
Little sprinkle binky. Don't unload everything quite yet. Just wait for the triple binky, way too stinky. Okay, so our discount double bink this week is on the Steelers and Patriots game. And what comes to mind, RJ, when you hear these two teams' names?
Under.
Under is right. So we have Steelers money line and Jaylen Warren anytime TD parlayed together and the under. Okay. So it's like a 3-way parlay. You're getting plus 410 odds on this.
So
I think it's going to be a really ugly, the over-under is like 44.5. I think it's going to be a really ugly dogfight. You're just going to have 2 defenses that are really just kind of pissing all over both of the teams' offenses. No one can really generate any kind of production. If NFL Red Zone was on, we would never see the game. It's going to be one of those, They're just never even really getting opportunities. I think Jalen Warren looked pretty good last week. He's been kind of dormant, and I like the odds. We're getting plus odds on him to score. So if you like that one alone, maybe ride Jalen Warren anytime touchdown. They're finally leaning into their guy. And I think the Steelers just kind of squeak out with this one just because they're the better team. So Steelers money line, Jalen Warren anytime TD, and the under. Parlay it together, and you got your discount double bink this week.
I love it.
Our triple binky, way too stinky, is the first Chicago Bears drive.
Okay.
Give up a sack. You might be thinking, what the fuck is this kind of bet? We were deep. We were searching this week, and when I was on my knees praying to God last night, he said that Caleb Williams holds the ball too long. This was his problem last year, and it's still an issue. They have no highlight outside of Romo Dunze, so he's just back there. He's just looking. Oh, he's going to go down. This is an auto bink. Do you guys remember auto bink? Okay, Chicago Bears first drive to give up a sack. Caleb Williams is going to start off how he left off. Plus 245 odds. Ride with me, ride often.
I love it. I absolutely love them.
Let's go. Let's bink it up this year, boys.
Wow, those are some good binks.
Mm-hmm.
RJ, which I know they're all great binks. Which bink do you bink the most?
Well, I mean, selfishly, it's got to be the Steelers, the discount double bank with Steelers and Jalen Warren. I picked up Jalen Warren, and I agree a lot with what the bink said. They used him way more in week 2, less of Kenneth Gainwell. They're definitely not going to use Caleb Johnson after that mishap on the kickoff. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Just don't touch the ball, and the Seahawks grab it for a touchdown.
That's how you lose your job.
Yeah, so he's done. I love where Jalen Warren is from a rush share perspective now. So I think you're getting great odds there. And then, of course, the triple binky, way too stinky. I got to put the mortgage on that.
Thank you, RJ.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that. Teddy, what are your thoughts?
I think they're all pretty good. I like the bink system. How the first one you put in, your units, and then you double the units, but that first one can cover the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get it. You get the methodology.
You get it all. You get it all. It's like a reverse reach around martingale situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Martingale.
And our league is just going to be swimming in it. We'll probably do a 10K.
We'll be able to get a way bigger beach home next year.
Yeah.
Or fuck it, we go back to Vegas.
We're going to buy a beach home.
We'll buy Vegas. We'll buy the strip.
Rename it Binky Land.
Binkus.
Bink.
Woo. Now we're kind of rolling on time, so why don't we get into the Week 3 preview? RJ, I believe the ASIC Sportsbook might have a few things to say.
Yeah, as we begin the preview of Week 3 of the 2025 ZFFFL, I must remind you of our great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL ASIC Sportsbook, ASIC Footwear. This week's highlight, the ASICS Gel Nimbus 27s. Smooth, soft, and built to handle pressure just the way you want it when things get tight on 4th and inches. ASICS, a sound mind is a sound body.
Tight. Keep it tight. Just the way
get tight on 4th and inches.
ASICS. ASICS took all my money last week, but we're coming back. Don't you worry.
ASICS has taken a lot of money from almost everyone.
My ASIC strategy moving forward is I'm only betting on RJ's team money line.
ASICS might build its own actual sports book.
Holy shit.
Well, why don't we get into it? We've got our first matchup. This is the TBS Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Keep My Name Out of Your Mouth matchup. RJ, you versus Chase. Chase is tired of you running your mouth, and he shut you up last week. He's trying to shut you up this week. You want to continue your hot streak. You've got Achan, Gibbs. I think those are your X factor. Keep rolling with them. And Chase, if Jamar and JT can keep getting a lot of the workload, if Jamar can be that security blanket for Jake Browning, that could be great. But I think this one could be a beatdown on either way. RJ, what do you think?
Yeah, looks like I get one of my running backs starting off Thursday in Devon Achan, and then I finished the matchup off Monday with Jahmyr Gibbs, while Chase has Jake Bates to counter that. I seem to have pretty good matchups all around, with some tough ones, though, being San Francisco with Kyler and Philly for Devontae. Yes, I said Devontae Adams as of now is in my starting lineup over Drake London. Things can still change. I might still, because right now I have Kelsey and Drake London on my bench in favor of Juwan Johnson and Devontae Adams. Could go Keenan even as my wide receiver too. I really don't know where I'm going to go. Perks of having such a great bench and great depth. Mm-hmm. Now, Jamar going head-to-head with JJ, Justin Jefferson, kind of scares me because, that inner rivalry with each other on who is better. I could see both of them being prioritized in that matchup this week, even more than usual. Good matchups besides that one for all of Chase's other pass catchers, and a great one for Mahomes to go nuclear against the Giants.
Nuclear.
A million
Nuclear.
And I even wrote, Ted, exactly what you said. I could see this one being a blowout either side. Book, pick 'em.
Mm-hmm.
Book has it to pick 'em, huh?
Who you taking, Binky Sama?
Binky Sama likes both of these teams. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. The fact that RJ even has the luxury of even saying that Drake London isn't going to make his lineup this week is kind of preposterous. But when you got a guy like Devontae that is commanding so many end zone targets, like, how do you not, JT was a guy that was kind of slept on going into this year, and I feel like Chase probably got him at a really good spot in the draft. Probably that second round, third round turn or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, he looks like he could be potential RB1. I mean, we'll see. But if they keep feeding him like they are and his legs stay fresh, the Tennessee rivalry this week is always a big game. It can be kind of a slog. Recall back to last year. This was 2 years ago now. One of the discount double banks was the Titans and the Colts game to end in a tie. And I don't know if you recall, it hit. Mm-hmm. It's always a fucking dogfight. But this year, I think Tennessee is as weak as they have ever been, both from an offensive and a defensive perspective, giving JT just the reign to just run all over the place. But the injuries just plaguing Chase's team with Burrow going down and that really impacting Jamar Chase. I think RJ just doesn't really have too many weaknesses at this point right now. So I give RJ the slight edge.
Wow. That is interesting. Sticking with the co-host who's on a hot streak. You've seen what RJ did to you.
And you did something to me last week.
And I did something to you. We'll see if that continues. Looking at our next matchup, we've got the Bridgestone Tire bounce back matchup because both these teams need to bounce back. Kyle versus Jack. Kyle has gone in on Justin Herbert, a pickup I really like. I think Justin Herbert's rolling, is going to have a great season. But also Kyle's got big question marks about those Raiders with Genty and Bowers. Can the stack with an offense that may or may not be doing great, can that work out for him? And then Jack, he really needs Derrick Henry and Breece Hall to perform in any way, shape, or form. He really needs the Eagles' defense to suck, so Jalen Hurts actually has to do anything instead of just kind of like handing it off to Saquon all day. I think Jack's team was embarrassing last week, and I think Kyle is the clear favorite here. But what does the sportsbook say?
Yeah, Kyle has all Sunday players, which I feel like is pretty rare. And then Jack has Tyreek Thursday, and then Laporta and Derrick Henry on Monday. I will say Derrick Henry tends to do better and go off in primetime games, not the 1 p.m. games as you saw the first 2 weeks. So I could see, they're playing the Lions. I could see that game being 70-60, extremely high scoring. So I could see him go off. Good matchups for CD and Laporta. But some tough ones for Kyron, Tyreek, and Jalen Hurts. We've already talked about Kyron's backfield share diminishing, and then Tyreek, I feel like we've sort of talked about it from the beginning. Just the cover 2 that has been played against Miami has really taken away the deep ball for them, which has hindered Tyreek's performance. Kyle right now seems to have benched Maserati Marv, and Garrett Wilson, going with a whole new group at receiver in Tet and George Pickens. Now, mind you, that would mean if this stays true, he would have Genty and Bowers, Raiders, and Pickens and Javonte Williams, Cowboys. He would have two pairs of teammates playing on the same team. I'm not the manager. I wouldn't do that. I mentioned this, I'm getting a little Bowers and Genty. I'm getting a little Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall.
Ooh.
And then Javonte Williams and George Pickens. I got a stat for George Pickens, and I don't want to pressure him into not starting George Pickens. I'm sure Kyle's a great manager. He knows what he's doing, and he could easily change things around before game time. George Pickens has been out-targeted by Jake Ferguson so far. Now, I will say George Pickens has seen his majority of targets in the red zone, but overall in games, he has been out-targeted by Jake Ferguson, the tight end. So I don't know how I feel about that. Genty, Saquon, and Justin Herbert all have tough matchups. Who will go 2-1? I think it's closer than what the books have. You say you favor Kyle. The book, Jack, -4.5.
Whoa. Binky, how you taking that action?
You said Jack -4.5? Yeah, so, just looking at this one, Kyle did, I guess, what I would consider probably like a high risk, high reward kind of approach with his draft. And it is what takes to win, but we're seeing the risk side of that play out in the early season. He's doing well so far. What's Kyle's record? 1-1. Yeah, that's fine. So he's doing well so far, but Brock Bowers, a lot of people think, could sophomore slump. I'm a huge Bowers guy myself, but it's just the way this is starting off for Vegas and Bowers so far. It just isn't right where we thought he was going to pick up off last year. And I think that'll kind of change in the early days, but just having Genty and Bowers, like you were saying, playing in the same game. Like I don't like to focus too much on teams because I feel like two people can pop on the same team. I don't want to pay it too much attention, but having that with two sets of players in your roster is kind of a different story. Ginty is just not shaping up to be the back that we thought he was going to be. And that's really the fear with rookie running backs, you know? Rarely are they ever just fucking elite out of the gate, even as generational talents. And I feel like what we're really learning is the term generational talent is kind of just being thrown around to the point where it's just kind of losing its value. Okay. A generational talent has to be undeniably good. They're a dog from start to finish. They don't have slump games, you know? So you're rarely going to see that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's just kind of a tag that has been put on a lot of players. I think Genty's great. He didn't play in the SEC. He's a really solid player, and he'll probably pan out. But I don't think, like, there's a learning curve to the NFL, you know? Like, these guys are all dogs. They were all the best player on their team. They were all destroying their division in college. So it's going to probably take some time for Genty to get there. I'll probably take McCaff strain with the points. Unfortunately, I feel like Kyle might have some troubles here.
I don't know if you saw there was a video of Genty pass blocking and got absolutely ran through and then had zero effort, and he didn't even go back into the game after that. And it was still a fairly close game. Because I bet live on his under in receiving yards, and he just never played again. So that was an easy hit. But
that's really not a good sign.
Yeah, they had two other. Zamir White ran the ball and played a little bit, and then they had this little white running back that did a lot of the pass blocking too. I don't even know who he is.
Wait, he was a white guy, or his last name was White?
No, Zamir White is who.
No, he was a white guy. He was a. This was a
Zamir White.
No,
wait, Zamir White
and a white running back.
Wait, which one is it, RJ?
Both.
Wait, so you had Zamir Black and a white running back?
Dylan Lobby?
Yes, Dylan Lobby.
Ew.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting. So good luck, Ashton.
Yeah, this guy. Never even heard of him. He has a big neck.
Huge neck.
College, New Hampshire. So,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Ted, how do you feel about that? You were thinking Kyle big.
I was thinking Kyle big. I thought there would be a little the sports book would sympathize with your hatred towards Jack. I just feel like there's a lot of sports book looks into a manager's like personal character and dignity, and Jack has neither. So I thought there might be something there, but I guess, maybe the sports book thinks that, the devil himself will reward Jack. Might be what they're thinking.
RJ, what's in the baby bottle? Did we already cover this?
No, it's new.
Is that
Just a little rum and Coke?
Coca-Cola? A little rum and Coke? Nice. Take the edge off after the 2-0 start.
Moving on to our next matchup, we've got the Great British Bake Off. And before I tell you, I bet you already know it's the Baker Mayfield revenge game. Me versus Kevin. Baker Mayfield's going to be playing scrappy, knowing Kevin's little bitch ass kept talking him up so much just to throw him away, never play him, wouldn't even draft him. I think this is going to be a matchup that for me depends on James Cook just dominating again on the run game. I need JJ and McConkey to really take back their identity. They've been falling a little bit. I'm hoping Carson Wentz just starts lobbing it up to JJ, throws a couple picks. Who cares as long as JJ's getting fed? Kev, on the other hand, you guys are high on Chase Brown. I think Chase Brown is chasing Brown because they suck. I think.
Wait, would you have said that if Burrow didn't get injured?
I have never been high on Chase Brown. I have thought he's a Giovanni Bernard type. I've thought he's a Joe Mixon.
Oh my gosh. The
I've never really
Bernard comp is crazy.
I also think Kevin's got to be worried. Jaden Daniels is turning into RG3, a Washington quarterback with a bad knee. Hopefully they don't throw him out there too much. That's bad for Kev. Nico Collins, too. I think the Texans are frauds. I'm not really high on Kevin's team at all. I think there's a lot of question marks for Kevin here. Maybe he'll get lucky. People bounce back, but I'm not seeing it. RJ, what does the sportsbook think?
Yeah, Ted, you're coming off a scalding hot week, right? You're really going to try to keep it going, starting with James Cook on Thursday, and then finishing this matchup. Not only you have Baker Mayfield revenge game, but Amon-Ra revenge game, finishing it off on Monday, which sounds absolutely terrifying for Kevin if you have a close matchup going into Monday night after sitting 0-2 so far. Kevin mentioned to me around the draft that he hates stacks. He hates having stacks, but looks like he's going to go with one with Jaden Daniels and Zach Ertz right now. Big question in this matchup, I think, is one, what will Chase Brown's usage be like without Burrow? Like, is he going to still be the bell cow, maybe more work, more pass game work, like dump offs to him? Or will the box be just completely stuffed? They're going to try and stop the run and try and make Jake Browning throw the ball more.
I think the latter.
I
would try to live. If I'm a defensive coordinator in the league, I'm like, all right, if Jake Browning kills me, then we adjust, but we just try to make their lives miserable, especially as he's trying to transition into running the offense. Like, all these defensive coordinators are bullies. Like, they're going to fucking manipulate the box.
Yeah, I agree. And then I think JSN, he's going against a top 10 pass defense in the Saints. That is fantasy-wise, and I would assume it's because the Saints suck and they just haven't been passed on much. But JSN has been targeted a shit ton, and he has put up great numbers. So I think that would be really good for Kevin. And then I mentioned the JJ and Jamar matchup, both of them going nuclear. Personally, I see this matchup, and I don't see how Teddy doesn't win. The book, though?
No.
What about the book?
Kevin -1.5.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Is
Kevin
there money
minus
to be
1.5? All right. Well, looks like we might bankrupt the sports book this week. I'll place my bet live.
Whoa.
All right. Before we get into this, I have a Freaky Friday proposition poll question of the week for the two co-hosts right here.
Ooh.
And act like I'm not on the stream, okay? So answer this truthfully. Don't let me manipulate any of your thing. But you guys are both sitting pretty right now. Like, Teddy, you're 1-1. RJ, you're 2-0. And you guys like always seem to find a way each and every year. I feel like you guys never really have too much of a down year.
We've worn the cum.
But both have worn the cum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys have been there. But you guys are sitting pretty right now. So I'm giving you the Freaky Friday poll question of the day because if you woke up tomorrow, whose fantasy football team would you be appalled if you logged in and you guys switched teams? You're like, oh, I can't. There's no coming back from this. I think I'm cooked. I'm in the last place game. It's another way of asking who are you most bearish on for the rest of the season, given their current structure. But I like to pose it how I did.
I can go first if you need to look. If I woke up tomorrow and I logged in to fantasy.nfl.com and I had Kevin's team, my head would be inside of a turned-on oven with the broiler all the way up so quick. I do not like Kevin. Most years I like Josh Jacobs, but every other player I would hate to start them. Not a big fan of Kevin's team. No disrespect to Kevin. Kevin, I think you're a great football manager and you know the game well and you really focus and try hard, but I would kill myself if I had Kevin's team.
Wow.
I absolutely.
Owen's the suicide hotline. Aptly named.
I absolutely hate Jack's team. That's why.
personal.
Yeah, no.
Didn't Jack have the best week 1?
Yeah,
Right.
and then he had the worst week 2.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent. Like actually, if go on the breakdown,
Uh-huh.
Jack 7-0 week 1, 0-7 week 2. I'm all about consistency, and I see where you're coming from, Ted. Kevin was 2-5 week 1 and 1-6 week 2. Bink, you weren't much better at 3-4 and then 2-5. But besides that, you have Kyle, Jack, and Chase that have just been very inconsistent. 1 week really high, 1 week really low. I mean, hell, you, Ted. Ted, you were 1-6. Is that real? Week 1, you were 1-6 and 1.
No.
Wait, no, you're not 2-0.
I'm 1-1.
You're 1-1. Yeah. So you were also. Only me and Trevor have been in the top 50% both weeks, but I've only been 4-3. But yeah, my case is Jack. I just hate. Yeah, he had the best week 1, but I hate him as a person. But again, that has nothing to do with this. I
has nothing to do with this.
I hate Tyreek. Kyron's going down. I agree with Teddy's take on Derrick Henry getting a more moderate workload. Because if they're like, why chance it? If you're going to make the playoffs, why chance it in any injury whatsoever to one of the best running backs? I don't know. The Eagles win.
Who are they running with then, if not Derek? Is it like Keaton Mitchell and somebody?
Lamar. I just think Lamar. I think
Lamar is just going to pick up the slack.
Yeah. And Lamar does a great job of not getting hit.
And do they still have Jamal Lewis?
Who?
The Ravens, they still have Jamal Lewis. I mean, they could throw him out there for
Ray
like
Rice.
Yeah, I haven't heard him in a while. I don't know why,
but yeah, Tony Pollard in your flex. I hate Jack's team, and I'm a bench guy. What can I say? Jack's bench is ass. Yeah. I could drop everyone on Jack's bench, maybe except Rome Odunze, and pick up someone better on the waivers right now.
Shit.
No question. And if he dropped all of them, I don't think any of the guys he dropped would get picked up. At least I would.
That is a true Freaky Friday response. Getting back into this breakdown though between Teddy and Kevin. Sorry for the slight diversion, but I think like I battled Teddy, and when his team pops, and like I think Teddy's team is funny, and either he's some sort of evil genius or I just don't get it. But like I feel like you've drafted a team where when I just look at the names, I don't get goosebumps or anything, right? But you don't give a fuck about that. You want production, and that's what matters. Because, like, you have Chuba Hubbard on the team. Obviously, even James Cook, a lot of people aren't, like, salivating at the mouth over. I am now because I've seen, like, over a long sample size what he can do week in and week out. But he's just not a guy that you think of as just being an absolute heavy hitter juggernaut. And then, like, even taking the risk on TJ Warren, you drafted him the same round that I was going to get him, I think like 3 or 4 picks before me. Absolutely devastating because I ended up having to take TJ Hawkinson. And so far, I've wanted to absolutely murder my family because of it. But Tyler Warren looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, he is not just a piece in the Colts offense. I think he is a driving force of the offense. So that's like super encouraging to see. You have Brandon Aubrey, the best kicker to ever live. Amon-Ra St. Brown just dropped a 40 bomb. Like, honestly, you can kind of do no wrong right now. And then we just look at the opposition. Okay, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's getting targets out the wazoo. I think he's a highlight of the team. But elsewhere, there's just question marks now, you know? Like, you got the Jaden Daniels, Zach Ertz stack. Zach Ertz he's been solid this year. I don't think he's going to ever put up, like, Tyler Warren levels of production in a game, so that just gives you an immediate edge at that position. Amon-Ra St. Brown will probably double the amount of points that Connor scores this week in your flex. Chase Brown is going to have a loaded box, and I think if you follow the fucking single bet baby back bank, James Cook is probably going to put up 100 rushing yards in the first half. Like,
That's a gimme.
It's just a gimme. It's a sprinkle bank. Chase Brown's going to be fighting for yards. I mean, Chuba Hubbard, I still don't get like super excited about him. Josh Jacobs, so Kevin will win that matchup. But the Bake Show is real. And on a hurting Jets team, I think it could be murdersome. Is Jaden Daniels, is he going to play?
He's listed as questionable.
I'm pretty sure he's going to play.
So, I mean, if he plays, I don't know how bad the injury is. He probably won't be at full strength. So just a question mark around that too. So RJ Live, please put it down on the sports book. I will be placing the max bet on Teddy.
Wow.
Teddy, money line or with the points?
What's the difference in the here?
I guess the book hasn't given me the difference, but I can
Did you do 1.5? Well, then just give me the money line, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the money line. I believe that should be I don't know the odds, but what they would do normally, I believe, is minus 115, but I can get that to you. You might
Minus
single
115 for the spread or for money line?
money line. It's always minus 120.
Okay.
But you might single-handedly have flipped the line. I don't know.
Exploit.
Before this gets out, so.
Right.
I don't even know. Did I even say the?
Can I get the 40% profit boost that Jack's not going to use?
That has already been used.
It's actually been cashed in? Okay, so Jack's a better in the league. Wow, incredible.
I guess. I forgot to give this stat, I believe, with James Cook, just to add more excitement to him, because I also love James Cook. His rush shares are 77% from game 1 and 66% from game 2. He was only over 65% 6 times last year, and through 2 games, he's done it both times. So they've been using him a lot, and he's looked great. And then, Ted, just to add even to make you feel better, for about the bench, Terry McLaurin has scored 4.7 and 9.8 points per game in the last 2 games, PPR points. That's terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last season, when he finished as a top 12 wide receiver, his first 2 games were 3.7 and 8.2. So even worse through the first 2 games. So he should be just fine unless he does bad this week. Then he's ass, and you should probably drop him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a crazy stat.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can't give up on these guys. I still think A.J. Brown will bounce back. But maybe I'm foolish. Maybe the Eagles just don't need to run. And in that case,
you can't trade him
or you don't
either.
need to pass.
You have to hold him, because you can't drop A.J. Brown from where you drafted him, and no one's gonna. And if someone buys him, you're just gonna be selling low, and you won't be getting probably what you would want for him. If you did want to, let him go, you would have to trade him. You'd have to wait for a big week to hope someone's more bullish on him.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Now rounding out our last matchup. This is a quick pod. This almost at
Wait, the pod's almost over. It's flying by. What the hell?
Doesn't have to be almost over. We can go through like
a 15-minute pod.
We can go through the waivers, go through all the players after this, and just see who we drop on Jack's bench.
Here's a good bet. I have a good bet before we get started. The Lions are playing the Ravens during a waxing crescent moon. The Lions are 9-1 on these moons in the last 2 seasons. Waxing crescent.
Are they in a dome? Is it at home?
I don't know, but it's a waxing crescent. That was a stat from who's the blind deaf guy? Otis Perkins. Otis Perkins. That was a stat from Otis Perkins.
Wow.
Shout out Otis.
Hey, Otis, we love you, man.
You have to sign it.
I'm blind.
He's
I'm
also
deaf.
blind,
I
so-
want to be a ref. I'm blind. I'm deaf. I want to be a ref.
Otis Perkins. All right, last matchup. Let's go.
Our last matchup is the Disney Channel That's So Raven matchup because I was having flashbacks while looking at this. This felt like the most ZFFFL FF matchup I've ever seen. Trevor at 2-0 versus Monty 0-2. Trevor's got Lamar. Monty's got Bijan and needs some production. Monty, you need Josh Allen to go absolutely wild on the Dolphins. You need Josh Allen. You need Josh Allen to take advantage like Trevor does in a locked training room. Okay? You need Bijan, Bucky, and Quentin Johnston to be on their games. I love picking up Quentin Johnston. Seems like Justin Herbert's loving him. Trevor, he just needs to ride the safe Lamar, CMC, Puka train. I feel like those three's floor is 70 points, and then he needs just the other, however many is that, 5 positions to get him 50 points, average 10 each. Doesn't seem too bad. But RJ, what's the sportsbook think about this?
Yeah, 2-0 versus 0-2. Bink does have some great matchups here, starting with the divisional matchup with Josh and Matt Prater on Thursday, and then finishing with Lamar for Trev on Monday, which is going to be a brutal watch for the Bink.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. I want to watch it with you guys. You guys want to come over and come watch?
We'll live stream it. We'll live stream it.
We could live stream it. That'll be awesome.
And then the Bink, Aaron Jones rupturing his urethra was honestly pretty huge for you, having Jordan Mason. He's going to be the bell cow now in the Vikings backfield, and with Carson Wentz, they're going to have to run the ball a lot. I'm big on that. Big on Quentin Johnston. I mean, I picked him up for a brief bit, but I have Keenan Allen, and I just didn't want both. And then Tucker Kraft. I love Tucker Kraft as well. He's had a great target share so far. He's actually tight end 1 right now through 2 games, most of that being done through week 2 or from week 2. But honestly, Shea, one thing I will say, while I like Johnston and Igbuka, there's not much star power there in the wide receiver room like the name of a Mike Evans or a Puka Nacua that Trevor has, right? Very
supposed to be A.J. Brown and T. Higgins.
Yes, that's different. That's different.
But this season's not going according to plan.
One interesting thing from Trev to see right now in a starting lineup is Lil Bill in the flex position.
Mm-hmm.
Shocked by that, especially after the stat I gave with Jeremy McNichols having more snaps than him since the Austin Eckler death. And then I think I would assume Trevor's still sort of deciding between him and Nick Chubb in that flex spot. And I think I already talked about this. Trevor's bench, terrible. I think it's terrible. I think he needs to do something because in that flex position, there were so many options available that are now most of them are gone. Like he could have picked up Quentin Johnston. He could have picked up let's just go through the waivers real quick. I mean, since this is such a
Trevor, I'm not wishing this upon any man.
Wandale Robinson, I would have started him over Lil Bill. I would have started Colts defense that Monty picked up. I would have started – I'd still probably start Calvin Ridley, who's available right now over Lil Bill.
Wow.
I just see Trevor's bench as make some changes. Stephon Diggs, like, why is he there?
Yeah.
Anyways, this matchup – you don't need a bench, though, and I know, Teddy, you've mentioned that a few times. Shay, I'm sorry, but Trev's the biggest favorite the week. Trev -6.5.
You know what? I wish I could say I saw that coming as a shock, but my face has not moved because I am completely not shocked by the line. As some would say, the Bink is a dead man walking this week. And if I would be lying to say that at 0-2, I would rather face, anyone but Trevor at this point. This is the least favorable matchup of me being 0-2, facing an absolute Goliath that is Trevor right now. And I'm fully aware of that. But the Bink binks,
Finds a way.
we find a way. Bink is a translation for everything that you need. Only having one out in a given situation and needing everything to go absolutely right. The stars to align, destiny. And that's what we do. We Bink. So you can never truly count the Bink out. I fucking hate that I'm playing Trevor this week. But yeah, we're just going to need to step up to the plate and Bink our asses off. I think, the Lamar, Puka, McBride, McCaffrey stack, we've already gone over this. It's fantastic. And what I was about to say, I didn't want to interrupt you, RJ, but I was about to say I wouldn't wish this upon any other man because Trevor's bench is so lackluster that if one or two of those pieces go down, and we've already figured out, you don't even have to be the directly injured person. Your quarterback could go down, your defense or your offense falls apart, just like what I've experiencing with T. Higgins and like Jamar Chase is experiencing, and all these quarterbacks that are going down. The byproduct, the ripple effect is that all the pieces around them aren't as strong. So say there are just some significant challenges to the 49ers offense or the Ravens offense. It could be a totally different story for Trevor. I know he's a smart guy, and I know he could be making some adds and drops, but you just can't get too confident with that weak of a bench. But he doesn't have to fucking worry about that this week. I will say, I think I'm betting on, literally with my money, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, that Josh Allen will absolutely pop off, both with his arm and legs. And I truly do feel very confident about that. I think Miami's in shambles, and I think that is a really strong matchup for me. I think Bijan versus Carolina, his floor is probably 15 points. I think his ceiling is, 25 plus. So I'm hoping that he can reach ceiling to buy me a little bit of buffer. Bucky he's just consistent these days. He's getting a larger and larger run share, it feels like. And I mean, he just breaks tackles at an insane rate. He's a really shifty guy. He runs hard. I love the Bucky spirit on my team. So now we get to the really interesting pieces that I actually wanted to talk about here. You guys are probably counting me out. You guys are probably calling me crazy. You guys probably have group chats behind my back calling me a madman, a menace.
Whoa.
Would say, you can't say that anymore. Sorry. But at my wide receiver position, I am starting this week Quentin Johnston and Emeka Egbuka. And it doesn't sound pretty. Just what I was saying about Teddy's team. The names don't sound pretty. But what we're seeing out of the Los Angeles Chargers passing game this year is absolutely nothing short of a miracle. Like the turnaround that we've seen, Justin Herbert is finally becoming the quarterback that people had touted him to be since the beginning of his career. Quentin Johnston is averaging 7 targets a game right now, and he's a deep target threat. They're just spreading the wealth. They were touted to be a run-first offense, but they are showing that they are dynamic and that they can pass at rates that we have not seen. Quentin Johnston's coming in at the wide receiver 5, has scored in each of his matchups. I'm trying to ride that hot hand. I need to get wins right now, and Quentin Johnston seems like he could be the guy to do it. Emeka Egbuka has also scored in both of his matchups. Both of these wide receivers have 3 touchdowns through 2 games. So I can't be starting guys with like A.J. Brown just because their name is A.J. Brown or T. Higgins, just because his name is T. Higgins, when Joe Burrow's also injured. I can't do it. Cortland Sutton was a huge letdown last week. It was probably an anomaly, but I don't have the time for non-production right now. It's fucking win now time. And then getting to probably my 2 favorite pieces this week that I want everyone to look out for, and they will be monumental in my ability to bank on Trevor. It is Tucker Kraft and Jordan Mason. For those of you that weren't paying attention during the draft, in the 11th round of the draft, I selected premium handcuff back Jordan Mason, thinking that this exact same thing would happen. I knew, Aaron Jones is great, but he's old. I felt like he couldn't hang on all season. I didn't know when it would happen, but I had a feeling it would happen. Jordan Mason, when CMC was down, was one of the top 5 running backs, probably top 3. I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but probably the top 3 running backs during the period in which he was injured. The guy rushes like a madman. He's put on some serious weight. He looks fantastic out there. And that Vikings offense has nothing else outside of him. J.J. McCarthy cannot throw a football. It is disgusting to watch the Vikings play, quite frankly. I feel bad for Justin Jefferson. I cut T.J. Hawkinson. It's abysmal. So they have to go Jordan Mason or they're just going to suffer. And Tucker Kraft. I mean, this guy,